One day, a young man came to see Buddha. He was very upset. He asked Buddha, "O Lord, please tell me why I suffer a lot. I can't bear the sorrow of my life and my loved ones. Please tell me what to do." Buddha looked at to the man with compassion and said, "Do you have a son?" Young man replied, "Yes, I do." Buddha asked, "Does your brother have a son?" Young man replied, "Yes, he does." Buddha asked, "Do your neighbors have a son?" Young man replied, "Yes, they do." Then Buddha again asked, "Do the persons not known to you personally have sons?" Young man replied, "Yes, a lot of people have." Buddha said, "Well, then tell me, if your son dies, how sad will you be?" Young man replied, "Lord, I would feel incredibly sad. I would not be able to bear the news. I would feel that my entire world has collapsed. I can't even imagine that situation." Buddha again said, "If your brother's son dies, how sad will you feel?" Young man replied, "Sir, I would feel extremely sad, but not to the extent if my own son dies." Buddha again said, "If your neighbor's son dies, how sad will you feel?" Young man replied, "Lord, I would feel some sadness, but not to the extent if in my brother's son dies." Buddha again said, "If the son of a person who is not known to you personally dies, how sad will you feel?" Young man replied, "I would not feel any sadness." Buddha asked, "Then the extent of the sadness is relative to your what?" After thinking for a moment, the young man replied, "Lord, the level of sadness is relative to me or mine. The more I hold something as my own, the more I will be sad." Buddha said, "It means you get sorrow from those who you consider yours." Man said, "Yes, that is right." Buddha said, "Very well. Now tell me one more thing. When you take your sons to the beach, does he play with sand castles?" Man replied, "Yes, he does." Buddha said, "When the ocean waves break the sand castles, does your son cry?" Young man said, "Yes, he does." Buddha asked, "Why did he cry?" Young man said, "Sir, the child cries because he thinks the castles is pretty and permanent." Buddha said, "It means your son is attached to it. But do you cry too?" Young man replied, "No, Lord, I don't cry." Then Buddha asked, "Why don't you cry?" Young man replied, "Because I know that the sand castles is not permanent and it is not mine, so I don't cry when the waves break it down." Buddha said, "Now you understand that the root of your sorrow is attachment. If you do not see the truth as it is, you will keep on suffering like this in this endless world. There is no difference between you and those kids who cry when their sandcastles are swept by the waves." After listening to these words from Gautam Buddha, the man came to understand that the real cause of his suffering is attachment. We can lead a happy life only by fulfilling our responsibilities while without being attached to it. If we want to live a happy life, then we'll have to practice non-attachment. Only then we shall be able to live a happy life and a peaceful life. Therefore, always remember that the less attachment you are, the more peaceful you will be. Thank you for watching.